Fan97203 here. So again, we're back here talking about another Fallout 3 theory. Now this is actually technically a Fallout 4 theory, but we're going to use evidence from both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. It kind of takes place in between them, and let's just get into it. So the question is, and this is based on a video that I saw by, what is it, like Vinyl League Puma or something like that. Link in the description below to his video about it and what he thinks happened. I think something slightly different, but I do think that his theory is pretty good too. So definitely check that out. But the question is, where is the Lone Wanderer, or the character from Fallout 3 that you play as? Where is he in Fallout 4? Now some people might say, well, you know, he just kind of sat around and stayed in the Capital Wasteland, did his thing, but as we know, spoilers, by the way, for both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, so, you know, mainly for Fallout 3. I don't think there's any actual spoilers for Fallout 4. Yeah, no, there's no actual spoilers for Fallout 4 that we'll get into with this video. So spoilers for Fallout 3, but it's a pretty old game, so, you know, yeah. And the spoiler isn't really even a big spoiler, but I guess spoiler alert. In Fallout 3, the basically canonical ending, if you don't know, the Fallout series has a trend of the canonical ending being the best ending, or the best karma ending, or whatever you want to call it. Again, Vinyl League Puma goes over this in his video as well, so I'm not going to go too in-depth with it. But basically, in the canonical ending for Fallout 3, you end up joining up with the Brotherhood. So, if the Brotherhood invaded the Capital Wasteland, and then met up with your character and he joined, and then they moved almost all of their forces, most likely, over to the Commonwealth, then wait, where's one of their best warriors? You. Well, I actually have a couple of different theories about that. I have one that I think is very well likely, and another that is also pretty decently likely. Now, first of all, I want to say he is most likely alive. Small chances he's dead, but I kind of doubt it. All throughout Fallout 4, you will find Wasteland survival guides. They are found at these locations, if you're wondering, so, you know, you're welcome for that. But they will give you different little things, such as one of them, as we can see here up in the top right corner, it's kind of says Ride to Diamond City in the bottom. It's hard to see in this picture. But it basically puts on the map where Diamond City is. And if you don't know, the Wasteland Survival Guides were made by Moira Brown, who's a character in Fallout 3 who just kind of stands around in Megaton, or in the ashy remains of Megaton, depending on what you did, most likely Megaton, since that is the canonical ending. And, of course, by the character that you play as. So, considering she just stands around at Megaton, she probably didn't travel to the capital the Commonwealth. So, this would imply that your character, the Lone Wanderer, traveled to the Commonwealth, and he found out about places like Diamond City. This would happen anywhere between 10 and maybe just a few months, or 10 years to maybe just a few months before Fallout 4, as Fallout 3 ends about 10 years before Fallout 4 starts. So, with that in mind, at some point he must have traveled to the Commonwealth. So we know he's not against going there, so it's not a, oh, I love DC so much I never want to leave. Let's be honest, it's really not all that great. Even once the Purifier is working, it's not all that fantastic. So, why didn't he come with the Brotherhood to the Commonwealth? Well, first theory here, they came to wipe out the Institute. Okay? when they come to wipe out the Institute is because they've had recon teams there, and they've decided that the Institute is evil, and they are just the worst things ever, and oh my god, they need to die. That's their views on this. But the Lone Wanderer is a bit more of a fair person throughout Fallout 3. He's not as... He doesn't have as many enemies, we'll say. So, if the Lone Wanderer has been somewhat willing to try and work with people that he has known are enemies, such as actually talking to people at the Enclave base, instead of just shooting everything up immediately, and by talking to people I mean, of course, the President, John Henry Eden, and the fact that in the first place, even having already been warned that the Brotherhood ain't good, having been willing to talk to them and work things out, I don't think he would be against going and talking to the Institute and trying to be civil with them. I don't think he would want to rush over to this far-off sciencey place that hasn't really seemed to do much all that bad except for try and collect their robot and just kill everybody. He especially would not want to go over there and kill off all the synths, because, of course, he has no quarrel with them. And honestly, he probably doesn't know the full situation, as that's just how the Brotherhood works. So, seeing as he probably didn't want to attack the Institute, one of his reasons may have been he didn't want to go after the Institute, and as such, he rebelled against the Brotherhood and just up and left, leaving all of that behind him, possibly even leaving the capital wasteland. Now, this would help to explain why Elder Maxson references him multiple times throughout the game, but never specifically talks about him. Elder Maxson, as we know, looked up to him as a child and admired him. If you talk to the young Elder Maxson, then you'll find that out. And you can definitely tell that he's fond of you. So, with that in mind, he wouldn't exactly put a lot of effort down to tracking you down and forcing you to come back. He would be a bit cautious about the whole situation. I wouldn't want to talk about it too much. It's kind of like you have this amazing hero, a sports star, or some sort of person out there who you look up to and you think is great, and then they do something that goes against what you think, and you're like, well, but that's not right. And you're just kind of torn. That is probably what Maxson is going through. But that's only situation 1. Situation 2 also bases the idea off of this whole Elder Maxson very well admires you. He left you in charge of the Citadel. The Citadel would not have been left behind. That is what is left of the Pentagon. That is a major thing in the Capital Wasteland. He did not leave it undefended. There is nothing else to say about it. There is no way that that has been left undefended. Now, just all the Brotherhood just got on the Prydwen and flew over to the Commonwealth. There's no way that's the case. So, what happened then? Like, how... Who would he leave behind? It seems like he has all of his best people here. Well, he probably has most of his best people, and some small amount of sentry bots and troops left behind at the Capital Wasteland, and the Lone Wanderer. The Lone Wanderer has proven himself plenty to be able to deal with some extremely difficult situations against highly armed forces doing some extreme things. As we saw in Broken Steel, and even in just the main campaign, he has been able to deal with the Enclave plenty. So, of course, when Maxson became Elder, he would probably entrust the Lone Wanderer with keeping charge of the Citadel secretly while he leaves. Because, of course, if the Enclave remnants found out, hey, Elder Maxson just left, but didn't know that there was a major defensive player there, they would most likely be willing to spend a small force there. Not nearly as large of a one as they would if they found out, hey, the guy that destroyed our giant thing and made it so we can't nuke things from orbit anymore and shut us down is there. It would be very different. So if the Enclave thought that this was a very small force there, then they would only send small remnant forces, as they don't have much to spare. So they send these small forces to attack, and they probably think that they succeed, and of course the Lone Wanderer deals with these with no issues. The Citadel keeps in Brotherhood control, and Elder Maxon doesn't have to worry about his biggest asset in the Capital Wasteland getting into the Enclave control. Now, there's technically a third option of the Lone Wanderer being dead, but I kind of doubt it, as he seemed like he wasn't very, like he was, probably wasn't even of drinking age, in Fallout 3, in the main chunk of Fallout 3, not in the prologue, but just in the main game itself. So he still would have been young 10 years after. Possibly late 20s, early 30s. And with that being the case, I really doubt that with all of the skills that he has, he died. The only possible place he could have died was in combat along with Sentinel Lions. But I kinda doubt it. He has a knack for not dying in combat. Of course, this is going by canon, as it is not canon that he repeatedly died because the player was doing something stupid and, kept reviving at a checkpoint. It's not canon. But those are my two theories on where I think the Lone Wanderer might be during Fallout 4. Now, if you guys have a separate theory of your own that you think is, you think that's probably right, you comment down below. I'd like it if you guys compare this to the video I will link in the description below. See which one you guys think is better. And hope you guys have enjoyed and or learned something and or just really like some of these yum Lone Wanderer picks. Don't they just make you feel so good? Aren't you just aroused by them? Ooh yeah, look at that Lone Wanderer. Yum. But yeah, so that's all for now. Hope you guys have enjoyed this theory, and I'll see you guys in the next video.